So, a few weeks back, this headline starts making the rounds. And it looks like your classic run-of-the-mill international hacking story, right? It definitely got everyone's attention.
And this is the headline everyone saw. Top U.S. official Kash Patel's email hacked by Iran. It seemed pretty straightforward. You've got a super high-ranking official, his personal stuff is out there, and it looks like a clear shot from Iran, basically saying, hey, we can get to your most important people.
But what if that was just the cover story? What if that was the distraction? Because when you really start to pull back the curtain on this thing, you realize the story isn't about Kash Patel at all. That email leak, it was just one tiny, very deliberate move in a much, much bigger and frankly more terrifying game of cyber warfare.
Okay, so let's talk about the real target. The one that was attacked in the shadows while everyone was looking the other way. It wasn't a politician. It was a massive company, a company you've probably never heard of, but one that is so deeply woven into our lives, you really can't live without it. That company's name is Stryker. And look, even if you don't know the name, an attack on them, it could cause chaos on a scale that a simple email hack couldn't even dream of. And it's all because of what they do. So what is it they do exactly? Let's paint a picture. Imagine a medical emergency. Someone's having a heart attack, you call 911, the ambulance shows up. That stretcher they use, it's probably a Stryker. The heart monitor inside, the one beaming vital signs ahead to the ER, that's a Stryker service. The defibrillator they use to shock a heart back into rhythm, yep, Stryker. You get to the hospital, you're rushed into surgery, even the lights above the operating table are made by Stryker. They are, and this is no exaggeration, a fundamental part of the system that literally keeps us alive.
Now here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. You'd think attacking a company this critical would require some super complex Hollywood-style virus, right? Some crazy piece of malware? Nope. The way they did it was, well, it was shockingly simple, almost elegant in its simplicity.
So let's just lay it out. Sometime before March 11th, an Iranian proxy group, they call themselves Hanjala, they get the login info for just one top-level IT admin. Then, on March 11th, they just log in. And once they're in, boom, they remotely wipe thousands and thousands of employee devices. Just like that.
And that's it. That's the whole attack. It's literally 3 steps. 1, steal a password. 2, log in. 3, hit factory reset. I mean, think about it. There's no sophisticated coding here, no genius-level hacking. It's something pretty much anyone could do if they had the password. And that one password gave them the keys to the entire kingdom.
So here's the really big takeaway. There was no virus, no malware. It was just a password and a click. What Iran proved here is that they can cripple a piece of absolutely critical Western infrastructure without using any of the tools we normally think of when we hear cyber warfare. This is a completely different playbook. And the fallout? It was immediate, and it was real. We're talking about Stryker's huge IT hub in Ireland being completely paralyzed. Thousands of employees were just sent home because not a single computer would turn on. But this goes way beyond an internal IT headache. The attack shattered their medical supply chain. You know, all those automated systems that tell a delivery truck, hey, take this box of syringes here, or this hospital needs a new defibrillator, stat. Gone. The entire flow of life-saving medical equipment just ground to a halt.
But, the attack didn't stop there. It wasn't just about disrupting a corporation. It escalated, and it escalated fast. It went from being a digital attack to a full-blown campaign of psychological warfare and some really direct intimidation.
I want you to put yourself in their shoes for a second. You're a Stryker employee. You open up your work device, and what do you see? Just one thing on the screen, the Hanjala logo. Everything else is gone. The message is no longer just for the company. It's for you. It says, we can reach you. We know who you are. It's terrifying.
And then look at the escalation. On March 19th, the U.S. does what governments do. They ban the hackers' websites and put up a big money bounty for the hacker's identity. Pretty standard stuff. But then, a week later, Hanjala comes back with their counteroffer. They don't want an identity. They put a bounty on something else entirely, assassination. And the price tag was just staggering. $50 million. A $50 million bounty. I mean, this is a whole new level of escalation. It's absolutely terrifying.
And look, this wasn't just some empty threat they were shouting into the void. They laid out the whole plan. Contact us on this app called Session. It's a totally anonymous messaging app. You don't need a headquarters, a phone number, an email, nothing.
And payment? Guaranteed. In untraceable cryptocurrency. They made it easy. They made it believable. And this is what's so chillingly brilliant about their strategy. They don't have to go through the incredibly difficult process of sneaking a professional sharpshooter into the country. No, they just need to find one, just one, radicalized person who's already here. And for that person, $50 million is a hell of a motivator.
So that brings us all the way back to the beginning, right? With this huge high-stakes operation going on in the background, why on earth would they bother with the Kash Patel leak? What was the point of that little sideshow?
Well, it was a classic propaganda tool. And here's the kicker. That data they leaked, it wasn't new, it wasn't from a fresh hack, it was old stuff, probably bought on the dark web years ago that Hanjala just sat on, waiting for the perfect moment to use it.
In that moment served three brilliant purposes. First, and most obviously, it was a distraction. While the news went crazy over a politician's emails, the real attack on Stryker was happening in the shadows. Second, it was a form of authentication. It was their way of proving to any would-be bounty hunters, hey, we're the real deal, not some FBI sting. And third, it drove home that psychological point. We can reach the highest levels. We can get to anyone. So when you put it all together, the takedown of Stryker, the insane assassination bounty, the media distraction, the whole thing was designed to send one crystal-clear message from Iran. And that message was, we don't need to fire a single missile. We can hurt you, we can disrupt your entire society, and we can threaten your people without ever firing a shot.
And that really leaves us with a pretty chilling question, doesn't it? In this new age of warfare, what's the most powerful weapon? Is it a billion-dollar missile, or is it something as simple and as terrifyingly easy to get as a single password?